Hey guys, Mr. Catlin here. It is Monday morning, virtual lesson 4.9. One of my favorite things that we do in seventh grade. I hate that we have to do this online, but we're going to start talking about these contexts of percentage problems, taxes, tips, interest, markups, discounts, commission, all these things that are actually useful math things that you're going to use in your everyday life as an adult. I love this part of our content. But today we're just going to focus on tax tips and interest. So I'm going to jump right into it with a tax problem. All right. So for the table below, what I want to do is I want to start off by finding the constant of proportionality. So what I've done is I've listed out things that have a price: paper towels, lamp, pack of gun, laundry soap, things that you would purchase in a store. And then over here in the next part of the column is how much tax that you would get charged in this particular state. And so the first thing I did is I found the constant of proportionality. I did the tax divided by the price, the tax divided by the price, tax divided by the price, and I found out that it was 0.07. All right, so they're multiplying by 0.07 to get to the tax. So what does this constant reveal about the tax? Well, 0.07 is equal to 7% when you move the decimal. So it tells me the tax rate. 7% is the tax rate. That's what it tells me when you find the constant, when you compare what you paid to what you got charged. Okay. But something that I find more helpful, all right, is whenever I make a total column, how much would I pay for the soap? Let's go ahead and do the soap. Sorry. 12 times 0.07. Let's do that really quick. 12 times 0.07. They would charge you 84 cents in tax for the soap when you multiply it by the constant. What I find more helpful though is if you look at the final total, because tax is an addition to what you paid. It's what the government charges you, it's added to the price, it gets sent to them. And so you add these two together to get the total, 858. This one would be 25 plus 183, which is 26.83. Dollar plus 7 cents is $1.07. 12 plus 84 is $12.84. What I find more helpful is after you make this total column is if you find a constant that relates what you paid for the item versus what you paid with the tax total. If you divide these in this column and you do 1284 divided by 12, 1.07 divided by 1, 2683 divided by 25, you will find out that the constant of proportionality is 1.07. Now, that's kind of got some significance to it because 1.07 is 107%. And so if you think about it as like a double number line and a table, that's the 7% extra that they added on to your whole price. So it makes sense that 107% is what that is, or 1.07. That is our decimal shortcut that we can use. Let's do that on this problem I did with the Xbox, okay? So if you buy the Xbox X Series X, it's $499.99 retail price. That's what you would normally pay if you find one that's in stock. All right. But you don't just pay that price when you go to the counter or you check it out online. You have to pay the sales tax for your state. Our state is 6%. So if our state is 6%, then that means that they're going to add 6 to the 100 and we would be paying 106% of the price. So instead of finding 6% and adding it, a good shortcut that you could do is you could multiply the price by 1.06, which is the same as 106%. And that's a nice, cool shortcut you can do for any tax problem in the state of Kentucky. If you know the price, multiply it by 1.06, and it will tell you the total. Now, if you do that on the calculator, you will get a number that you have to round. And with tax, you have to do that a lot. You get this number here. I don't know if you can see that in my little box there, 529.98. That 98 would round to 99. So 529.99, $529.99 is what you would actually pay if you bought the Series X in the state of Kentucky, because our sales tax is 6%. So there's tax for you in a nutshell. Most of you have probably done some tax stuff before, so that's not fairly new to you. Let's move on to a tip problem. All right, I'm going to do the tip problems with a table because why not? Find the total bill when you leave a 15% tip on a meal that cost $40. Okay, so tips are additionals, they are increases. All right, you're leaving extra money for the waiter, for the driver, for whatever, the person that's serving you. All right. So 15% tip on $40. $40 would be the 100. 15% increase would be 115. So find your constant of proportionality, which this one is easy. 40 divided by 100 is simply 0.44 tenths, right? And then multiply that times your 115. And 115 times 0.4. It's pretty easy math to do. Let's knock that out real quick. 6, 4, 1 decimal move. You would be paying them $46 altogether. Okay. And it does say find the total bill. So $46 would be the total. Your tip would be $6, right? It would be the difference of what the item was versus what you paid. $6 is the tip. So make sure you read those questions carefully. Sometimes it'll ask for the tip. Sometimes it'll ask for the total. Sometimes it'll ask for what percent did you tip. And I think that's what I did on this next one. Okay. So Bill orders a pizza that costs $30, or maybe it's a series of pizzas and cheese sticks or breadsticks, whatever, but he tips his driver $6 when he comes and delivers it. So my question to you is, what percent tip did he leave? Well, we know that $30 is the value of everything that he paid for the pizza. But with the extra tip, we don't know what percentage he went up to, but we know that he ended up with $6 more paid, so that would be a value of 36. And so the same idea, we're just going to find the constant of proportionality, 30 divided by 100. Let me use a different constant here. They're going to multiply by 0.3, right? So if they're multiplying by 0.3 to go from left to right, we're going to divide 36 by 0.3 to find out what percentage that he bumped it up to. Does that make sense? We're using our constant of proportionality skills. So 36 divided by 0.3, that turns out to be 120. Okay, you see how I'm doing the division there instead of multiplication? So he went from 100% price to 120% price. So the increase from 100 to 120 is a 20% tip, a 20% increase from $30 to $36. So he left him with 26. It's a pretty nice tip. All right, so those are tip problems. They're always increase problems. So you can use your double number line. You can use your table. You could have even used your decimal shortcut like we did on the tax problem. That also works there, but I'm not going to do that as an example. Let's look at the interest problem, the last one. All right, so interest is also an increase. All right, these are all increases, taxes, tips, and interest. And interest is going to be a charge that a lender charges for somebody for borrowing money. Okay, so like if I borrow money to do something, then interest is an extra charge that I pay to borrow that money now. So they're going to add that on to your price of what you borrowed. David is going to borrow 18 grand to buy this new truck. Okay, so he had a down payment. It probably cost in the 20s or 30s, but he's going to borrow some from a bank or some type of lender to pay off the rest of the truck. And the lender, the bank, or whoever is letting him borrow the money is going to charge him 4% interest. Now, here's the kicker: every year for 3 years. So 4% the first year, 4% again, 4% the third year. So technically, and you'll see this in my double number line, he's not getting charged 4%. He's getting charged 4% every year. So that's 4 plus 4 plus 4, which lands him at 112%, 12% more than what he borrowed in the first place, 100% at 18,000. So you can see why these interest problems can get a little trickier because they add um, this aspect of years into the mix. Okay, so you can't just put your percentage in there. You got to think, okay, how many times are they doing this? He's getting 4% added on every year, so that happens 3 times. So we're not going to deal with this problem as 4% extra. We're going to deal with this problem as 12% extra. So think of this as 112%. Okay. And to find our constant of proportionality, I'm going to do 18,000 divided by 100. I don't need my calculator for that because that's just 2 decimal moves to the left. Boom, boom. That would be a constant of 180. Okay. That divided by that. So all I got to do is 112. 112 times 180, 20,000, 20,000, and $160. 20,000. He's got to pay them back that much. He borrowed this much. Now, if let's read how the question asks, because sometimes we have to do more work depending on what the question asks. How much money will David pay back the lender for his loan? Well, that would be this much. So that is our answer. But if the question would have said something like, how much money did David get charged in interest? Then we would have to find the difference of what he's paying back to what he borrowed in the first place. We would have to subtract these two numbers. So you got to read those carefully on what they're asking for. He borrowed 18,000, but he's got to pay back 20,160, including the extra interest. And that's all I got for today. I hope this was helpful. Do those cool downs and be prepared for your test this Friday. We only got one more week till Christmas break. You can do it. Love you guys. Have a great one.